Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode, and check us if we're wrong, 35. My name is Craig Perales, and joining me to a hard right is Mandrew Montemayor.
Harder than this gross beer. I wouldn't say it's gross. It's okay.
Yeah, so we are drinking Dale's Pale Ale, the original craft beer in a can, sitting at a nice 6.5%. And Dante recommended this one, Dante Z, and he said that I drank it before somewhere. But I don't know. It's like, it's not bad, but it's not great.
I feel like it's a white trash ale.
It's hitting me like adult white trash, though. Like, not high school white trash.
I don't know if it's the flavor that's white trash or if it's the colors of the can.
It's definitely Screaming America, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got me good.
Pack it in, pack it out is all it says. So that is what we're drinking on today's episode, guys. If you've had it, let us know what you think, because I could definitely never drink that again and be okay.
I think maybe it's because lately I think we've had bottles and now switching back to a can.
Been of a can, we feel like a little downgraded. But hey, to each their own, and beggars cannot be choosy. So guys, we're here to talk about a little news. And the first story we want to jump into is that there was some legal issues over in Germany and Norway going on with the eshop pre-order with Nintendo. So back in February 2018, the Norwegian Consumer Council raised issues that you can, if you do a pre-order, that you're no longer able to get refunded. So Andrew kind of pointed this story out to me. I know you're more upset about it than I am. I'm not much of a pre-order guy. What do you want to get into?
I mean,
let's break it down a little bit.
It's already like how it is in the US, but Nintendo currently, as it kind of stands, is the only... Because, I mean, even Steam kind of has a somewhat thing as long as you played it under 2 hours. It's the only person who doesn't for digital pre-orders. You cannot cancel it. Even if the game isn't out for 4 months, you cannot cancel it. Xbox currently, as long as it's 10 days before that, before the release date. PlayStation says, I mean, as long as you cancel before the release date. I don't know what... I mean, that's all it says in their guidelines, so I'm sure there's got to be some sort of room. So as it stands, if you were to get a game, pre-purchase game is how they call it, you cannot get a refund for it. You can't change your mind. That's it. Like, you're done. Even if the game comes out at the end of the year, there is no change in your mind on that. You now have to get that game, whether it's delayed, whether some more stuff comes out and it looks like an absolute shit game, come hell or high water. The way that they've gotten around it is that they've said that during the purchase, it gets downloaded to your console.
Right. You have some amount of data.
Yeah, you have something. So they've given you a somewhat physical product, and they've delivered a good on their end. So that ends any sort of agreement pre-purchase, because you physically have something. To show but as everybody knows, you cannot play that. I mean, there's been incidents in the past where some games for some people have unlocked early, but those are like few and far between. It's never... I mean, I'm sure maybe... I don't know if there's a way, and maybe that is kind of their worry, is people could hack the game or their console somehow to get pre-access to a game and then
refund it, get
retroactively ask for a refund after they've beaten it or something like that. But I mean, until those cases start popping up, I think it's not a very consumer friendly,
Yeah, for being the company that's known as being the most family friendly, seems to be a really hard thing, especially like Andrew's saying. Xbox gives you up to 10 days before the game, you can cancel it digitally. Sony does it up until like the day before. So it's odd that Nintendo has just a strict no. Once it's pre-ordered, once it's on your Switch, once you have something that says that we've given you something, you're out. And we were watching this, so some arguments were like, they're a company, they want to make money, but is this the way to do it? Because how much are you making? $5 on a pre-order? Or I'm not sure, because that's why I'm not really worried about it. I don't really pre-order digital games that much. So I don't know if you had to buy it, because I know the other ones, like if you go buy a physical one, you only need $5. You go to GameStop, you go to Walmart, they'll refund it, you get it back. So I'm not sure how the digital space works in terms of getting a refund.
I think it's just more important in consumer rights in general, because realistically, again, you cannot play this thing, so you can't cancel, you can't change your mind. Like, what if the game, you see some people go out and pre-order just based off of a trailer on a game. What if it ends up looking like shit? But
I've never gotten behind pre-orders. I've never been a fan of one. So I would just take this grain of salt and be like, hey, just be very specific the next game you want to pre-order on a digital space and make sure you're going to play it, because that's all that's going to happen. All that's going to happen is go, okay, but then your pre-orders are going to go way down.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that's where it seems like maybe it would kind of not be the smart move, because it might hurt the market, because, and now now that I know this for sure, I'll never order anything on them.
Right,
I didn't know that before until this thing came up, and I thought maybe it was just Germany. I looked it up for US, and no, it says on there all sales are final. So I pre-order shit all the time, and now I never will. I will wait until the game comes out and just go either buy it physically or just.
But at least on Nintendo anyway. Because
yeah, on Nintendo.
Steam Play. You can play the game for 2 hours and they'll still refund you. You get a window with Xbox and Sony's like, hey, until it's in your hands, you can refund it. So it's just odd that like I said, the most family friendly, smile on their faces company. This is the stickler. And I don't know if this is a big thing to get mad about Nintendo, but it's very odd that compared to all the other ones, they're the only one that has like a strict once it's been pre-ordered, pre-purchased. That's it.
I wouldn't say it's so much to be mad or like to be up in arms. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, fuck Nintendo or anything like that. But I think that as a company that's something that I understand that they have to make money and they have a bottom line, but it's sort of regressive. And for someone who does a lot of things right, there are a lot of other things that they do wrong when they do things wrong, it's usually like a big wrong. Like when they had that whole the YouTube debacle where you couldn't post anything Nintendo because they would take it down, like Let's Plays and stuff. Yeah. And so something like this, that when they do something like that, when they do all that goodwill gets you to a point, but you still need to be called out on what you need to be called out on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird because I would hope that no other company moves in that direction and they'll see the writing on the wall that people are like, you're going to see your pre-sales dip. So, like, why are you even doing that? It can't be. I can't imagine that it's that hard that if somebody wants to cancel on digital space, that all they do is remove it. Like, how hard can that be?
And I think what a lot of people think of is like, oh, okay, what's the big deal? Because you're only thinking about the majority, and maybe something I haven't really thought about is first party games. That's the majority of their bread and butter. But what about the third party games that you pre-order this game and it runs like absolute shit? Can you not get your money back for that? Is there some sort of loophole? I don't know how they handle something like that, because we have seen other things. Is even on, I don't know if it was Steam or who it was that took it down, but Arkham Knight did not run well on PC, that they refunded everybody and straight took it off of the store. And I know for a fact on Xbox that you can, if a game runs like shit or a game is that bad, that you can request a refund solely based on that, and they will grant it to you depending the circumstance, especially if it's something huge and everybody knows that it's that bad.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know why they're doing it. I can't see that it would be too hard to rectify it if they did decide to change their mind on that. But moving forward, if they just won a case, I don't see them changing their mind anytime soon, since they've already won.
No, they don't have to. But so shame.
Yeah, for shame, you Nintendo. Anything else you want to add on that? There's not really too much else to say about it. Just be wary if you have a Switch. Do not pre-order unless you are guaranteed going to play that game, because you're not going to get your money back if you decide
right. That was the biggest thing. Is I was like, okay, just Germany and Norway. I had to look it up for the U.S. I had no clue because I just got my Switch, and now, I never will
pre-order a game on the goddamn Switch again. So, hey, you won.
So for anybody who wasn't in the know, now you are.
Yeah. So be careful when you digitally download in the eShop. Anything else on that? No. Drink up, Buttercup. So next, guys, we are going to a little segment called Rumor Has It, because we're just going to tackle a few things that are kind of circulating right now, just so that you are in the know. And the first one is, and I'm very excited, and I hope that it's true, is that Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which was a series that was done by Obsidian and BioWare, is being said that it's going to come back in the form of, well, first of all, the game is an action RPG, obviously set in the Star Wars universe. If you have not played it, go play it. They're a little tough to play now because it's, I believe, the original Xbox games, but they are.
You can't actually play it on.
Is it on Xbox One?
It's on the
right?
backwards
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't too sure.
But I don't think it's a game that's aged well.
No, yeah, but the mechanics when you play it, it's kind of almost like Fallout, where the game can stop and then you can pick all your attacks and see where you're gonna go. It's got a great ensemble of casting characters, really recognizable guys. The big thing that it's got a dark side, light side, obviously, so you don't need to stick, unlike Jedi Fallen Order, where you have to stay, the Jedi true path. You can pick it. You've got choices you can make, like kind of almost like Mass Effect. You have conversations that'll gain you points. The cool thing is that Darth Revan was actually made canon recently. So I was reading that a few weeks ago. Andrew pointed out that it was actually in the new Star Wars movie in the virtual dictionary or something, that one of the Stormtroopers legions was like Revan whatever.
For those of you not in the know, like me, I didn't know who that was. Who is Darth Revan?
Yeah, Darth Revan is actually the main character of the game, and essentially he was a Darth, or a Sith Lord, a Dark Jedi.
Spoilers for however old game.
So when the game takes place, he wakes up from like an amnesia, an event happened, and he starts being trained as a Jedi. Now you can take that path from there how you want to go. So the other big thing was that Kathleen Kennedy was saying that they are doing a Knights of the Old Republic something, right? She wasn't clear when she made that announcement. And up until recently, KotR 3 actually just got canceled, because this is one of the games that a lot of Star Wars and a lot of RPG fans have been asking for, and it's always been like a head scratcher, like, where is this game? It would sell. So it is cool, if this rumor pans out to be true, that they're doing this. Now, the big thing they're saying is that it's not so much a reboot as it is like a sequel to the games. They're taking heavy elements from the first two and putting it in this new package, because what they're doing is that they have to retool it so that it fits the canon of the new Star Wars universe.
Not just the new canon, but they're also trying to make it fit into modern games to where it's, going to mesh well, instead of having these like ancient mechanics that don't.
Right, yeah. So if anyone's unfamiliar with what a canon is, if you watch the movies of Star Wars, they have a timeline and they have something set. The old games and old books, even if you take a game like Force Unleashed, they do things that don't work with the actual timeline of the movie. So those are uncanon, which is what Knights of the Old Republic was. So this new game is now completely fitting in that, which is going to add better lore to movies and future books and future games, which I love. I love that they're taking these games and making, like Jedi Fallen Order. That is a canon in Star Wars history that happened. So this looks fantastic.
And that's what has me more excited, is just the implication, because
of the implication.
I personally thought Jedi Fallen Order was an absolutely great game, especially when I was so down on Star Wars. I was like, it hasn't been good in a long time, especially with the new movies. My new favorite trilogy, not really, because it was garbage.
I thought you were being serious. I was like,
no. But either way, I think it's definitely something that it could add to it, because I personally love Star Wars, regardless of whether how good or bad the new movies are. That new game I thought was absolutely great, and I love to see more just of the universe, not that same gameplay style. Of course, a sequel would be cool, but that game just came out. That that's a time and a place later on. So for something like this, I think that now is the time and place for something like that.
Yeah, and EA did a really good job with Fallen Order, but if you're a Star Wars fan, I want to see more of Star Wars, where Fallen Order it was a puzzle piece that fit in between, like, New Hope or whatever, what the other movies were. This is Knights of the Old Republic, which is, thousands of years back. So they have plenty of wiggle room to create this new history that future movies now are going to have to, take in context with. So I'm looking forward to it. And I hope this is what they're moving forward to, because nothing's been set in stone, but all the outlets are pretty much reporting this is a go.
I wonder if that's what they're waiting for, is because that was the rumors that the next movie is going to be a prequel during the time when there's a lot of Sith and not just two, and that whole war and everything like that. So this could be something that comes in sync with that, and either way, I'd be super stoked for it.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the MMO is also set in the old Star Wars Knights of the Republic, so hopefully they take elements from that as well. Anything else you want to jump into on the Star Wars?
Not for Star Wars,
we have a few more rumors to go through.
Yeah, so the next one, actually, Craig sent it to me because I actually didn't see it, would be that a NeoGAF user, and NeoGAF, for anybody who knows, people post all kinds of leaks and stuff like that, so take it with a grain of salt, but it is just an interesting idea and a concept, would be that someone on there named Cyrus Black, who has posted other things that people have said have been
come
true,
to fruition.
Posted, when asked, what kind of games can we expect from Microsoft or any sort of exclusives, third party, first party, he posted some other things, but one of them was a Man of Steel OST, original soundtrack, indicating maybe Rocksteady's next game, which has been long rumored to be a Superman game or a Justice League game.
Or Suicide Squad was rumored too.
Yeah, that was one of them too, but I think that kind of fell out with how badly the movie was. But to take something straight from the Man of Steel soundtrack would kind of indicate maybe more just Superman, and that's the conversation that we kind of more wanted to talk about, because there is another rumored game that's been going on for a while and people talked about it, we know about that, and we'll kind of go into that because that's a little more solid. There's more info on that, but I don't even know how you would do a Superman game because he's just so strong.
Yeah, I've never... So Rocksteady hasn't done a game, I believe, since 2015, and if their next project is going to be a Superman game, like, you got to be really careful, because everyone knows, the most infamous worst game of all time, or at least top 5, is the Superman game on N64, because that game, you can't figure out what to do with him. The game is simply him flying in rings, because what's he going to do? He can one punch anything. So the brilliance behind what Arkham did is it took stealth tactics and it took gadgets, and it used the rogue gallery brilliantly, where you get a guy like Superman, there's no stealthing around, he's all time, he's all flight, he's all strength. Me and Andrew were having a conversation anything he does that would make sense in our mind would have to be put on a galactic scale. Because there's nothing on Earth that would be amusing. It's fun to watch, but there's nothing we can think of that would be amusing to play based on a Earth atmosphere.
Right. Yeah, that's was our conversation. Who's he going to fight?
Yeah, he has to go in space or something.
Yeah, Lobo, Mongol, Apocalypse, all these other people that are not like an earthly nature.
Yeah, and Brainiac, and again, what are the mechanics? Because we were even mentioning it with the Avengers game. You get someone like Thor or Hulk, right? It's never too hard to think of things that they can fight, because you've, like Andrew was saying to me earlier, an Iron Man suit can take them on physically.
Yeah, that was
what does Superman fight?
That was the first point that I made, and that was kind of, I thought, like a kind of stark contrast between what Marvel and DC do as far as some of their properties go with some people. Because I think Batman works because even though there's some like supernatural elements to it, it's a lot more grounded as far as like strength and stuff like that.
And he's beatable. Goes. I mean, if you lose in the game, it makes sense that he gets beaten. How do you lose as Superman?
Or someone like Bane, his power is strictly from like the venom.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think of a game that's out there that Superman could somehow mimic, because if it can't do it right and they have to start from the ground floor to make something brand new, then that just seems very tricky.
I just don't even know how it would work, because even like a God of, I'm sure Kratos is strong as fuck, he fucks people up, but he's fighting all these other beings that are not like humans.
Right, that are strong. So yeah, so again, we believe that it would have to be something set in the cosmos, that when he's going to fight Darkseid, the alien, the new gods and the people on Apocalypse, they can take a Superman punch.
Right.
Or at least, because he doesn't hit you as hard as he can.
Or just create the species that I believe could. Yeah. It would have to be something.
Make some new IP with that. Brainiac robots can take a Superman punch. Just, Lex Luthor can't. And I don't care what suit he's wearing. He's fucking dead. So
because after that, at least that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, okay, that's a weird thing. So with Superman, when you throw that out there, that's the first thing I think of. It's like, how would that even work? It doesn't. Whereas when they mentioned the Avengers game, I'm more worried about how that game looks than how anyone's going to interact with anything. Because in there, I believe, and they've shown me how Iron Man could take Hulk, how Iron Man, a human in a suit, could take Thor for a bit, for a time. So there's ways to get around that versus the person who's OP, Omega Mega.
I'm just trying to think of gameplay, because like Batman works around stealth and getting to an objective and stopping somebody in time. It's like, if you can fly and you got super strength and you've got all this, I'm curious. And here's the thing. Rocksteady makes good games, so if anyone's gonna make a Superman game, my whole heart's in it. I just can't wrap my head around what. Like, why would you do this game when there's other DC people that maybe lend themselves to being more easily versatile than a Superman game? That's a hard thing to wrap my head around. As of right now, I can't.
And that's probably why they're not abandoning the whole Batman idea, because the other rumor game that's been going on for a while, we just haven't talked about it because there's been a bunch of stuff, is that Warner Brothers Montreal, so the other team from Warner Brothers who made Arkham Origins, the one who's outside of the Arkham trilogy, whatever they want to call it, is making a game that's called Arkham Legacy. And it's supposed to have like the Bat family, and they've been tweeting lots of parts of symbols that create something related to like Court of Owls are rumored to be in it, or they even posted another symbol that says catch the night, I think is what it says. Oh, capture the night, but night is spelled like, K-N-I-G-H-T, and it's got the demon's head, which is the symbol of Ra's al Ghul in the League of Shadows. And so we already know that they've been in the past games and how that would work, and that it works well within the confines of that. So something like that, I wholeheartedly am actually really excited for. That sounds a lot better to me than what the Superman game does.
Well, yeah, because you're already sitting on a formula that works, and if you can just make a Batman game bigger and use all the things that we've already fell in love with, then yeah, the next move would do the Court of Owls. Make it be more playable characters in Batman besides DLC that you have to get. Do things like that.
Which they did kind of dabble in Arkham Knight, because you can play like Dick Grayson or even the DLC.
Here and there, you know what I mean? But I want missions, like in-game missions, not like, for a few minutes. Like, I would love it, and I would love to see what they do with it. I'm sure might be the game if they do it where Damian makes his appearance. The reason why we're still counting it as a rumor is because this thing's been speculating for like the last 2 or 3 years that it's going to pop up at the next E3. You're going to see it. The next, the next
video game. They haven't posted anything, but the official Twitter is posting out the symbols and like the little things.
They're doing hints. Slow hints, and any hint's better than no hint. And Batman game is something that you can definitely move forward because we're already happy for it. The Superman game is a little more hard for me to wrap my head around.
Yeah, I have no clue how they would do it. And I mean, if you have an idea and if you have a good pitch, post it in the comments, because I would love to hear how you would even make that work.
Because especially after they just Insomniac just did like Spider-Man, like that was a really good comic book game with mechanics that worked for Spider-Man. The Batman Arkham games are good mechanics that work for Batman. I'm just trying to figure out what game looks like anything that a Superman game could play in. Unless the game starts with him losing his powers and he progresses and gains them back.
I would hate that.
Whatever kryptonite or something like that.
Yeah, but then it's just God of War at that point.
Yeah, right. So
because that was my first thought too. I was like, oh, if he just loses powers, and I'm like, oh no, that doesn't make any sense.
Then he's
so I think even Injustice does it better than maybe anyone else had because Bruce cuts him with the gold kryptonite that drains his power to an extent, so they can have that fight.
Right.
But then it's spoilers at the end. He completely drains his powers before he sends him into the
Phantom Zone.
The Phantom Zone. Yeah, thank you.
So, anything else you want to add on top of the rooms?
No, either way, I mean, I'm pretty excited for anything that could come from any of that stuff, though, because it all sounds like absolutely great games.
Yeah. Again, I'm not cherry picking the thing too bad, but I'm just, if someone can do it, I hope it's Rocksteady. Just, I'd hate for them to miss a beat and this game flops.
I think if anything, I'm more excited for the Star Wars than I would be for that Superman game.
Star Wars, Arkham Legacy, Superman, if that's what they're going with. So, so look, get into a little riff.
Yeah, I'm ready for a riff.
Riff it up.
You want me to start or you?
Yeah, go ahead and start us off while I crack this fucking beer.
So my first riff actually is that
even the foam's brown.
Yeah, I know, I seen that.
That can't be good.
That Ninja Theory, people who made Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice and also 2, which they've shown, is shown off a new game. It's only about 45 seconds long, but it's called Project Mara, and it is a psychological horror game. Is what it is. And it's just like a small trailer. It looks, graphically, it looks good, and they've said that it's all in-engine, in-game graphic, that is how it's going to look as you play it. So I think that absolutely looks phenomenal. They said that it is going to be another small team like what did the original Hellblade, so that way they can keep experimenting with, how they make everything. So I like that idea. And just that they're trying to explore new ways of storytelling through this game with the whole psychological aspect to it. So I think that sounds really cool because I'm a huge horror fan. That's always my absolute favorite. And so something like this, I think, is really cool.
And Microsoft owns Ninja Theory?
Yes.
So this would be an Xbox exclusive.
I would say, unless it's on anything. I'm sure it'll be on PC, but I would count console exclusive.
That's how, when I say that, PC can get whatever it needs to. I love that. But yeah, if this is an exclusive for Microsoft, I think it looks good because I can definitely see where they're pulling from the Hellblade aspect of it because the new trailer for the new Hellblade, she looks so much realer than she did in the first one.
Oh, it looks great.
And Mara, if that's who that was, she had that same teeth and jaw.
I felt like it was almost. It almost looked like the same chick.
Same character. Not character. I guess it would be model actor
for a small team. Maybe it is.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm not a big spooky game guy, and the trailer wasn't that long enough to scare me. But I am all aboard for Xbox moving forward, and I love Ninja Theory because I loved Hellblade, and it looked really good as short as we got to see.
Yeah, either way, I mean, it's just cool to see something new on the horizon.
Yeah, E3's around the corner, and that might be one of the trailers that Xbox takes the stage with and shows us a nice 120 or something like that.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool, especially the way that it looks like it would probably be a Series X, even if it was a next year game.
Yeah, so brilliant. Anything else on that one?
No, for you?
Okay, so my rumor, guys, and I know you're sick of hearing it, and I'm sick of talking about it, but I gotta get you mad one more time, or if you're not mad at it, be interested. So, Kingdom Hearts, a series that either you hate it or you love it, but and I personally like it a lot. So one of the biggest complaints, I had those, if you were jumping from the original Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 3, there was so much in between filler games that it got lost. Nobody knew. I don't even know what's going on in Kingdom Hearts 3 because I didn't play the PSP Vita game. I didn't play the 3 GBA games.
I didn't play the one on my cell phone that's only available in Tokyo.
On my cell phone. So there's a lot of story lost. So I'm glad that they're moving forward with this because the next one is a console game. Oh, wait, it's not. The next Kingdom Hearts game is on iOS and Android. So the biggest shoot in the foot that they could have done was not make a console game, and now they're putting it on mobile. The only reason I'm bringing it to your attention, its codename right now is Project Xehanort, I believe it's how you pronounce it. It's a contest that ends on January 28th, so I know we're kind of plugging this a little bit late. You'll have a few days to do it. They have a Guess the Name contest going on that you can go to their Twitter site. You can do hashtag KH Contest. So you can guess the name of the new game that's coming out. There's going to be 10 winners. Nothing's been specified what you win, but Square Enix says you will win big. So if you're interested in contests, I bring it forward because I like the contest aspect of it. I like anything that we can tell other gamers that can go win something. As far as Kingdom Hearts making a new game that's strictly on a mobile platform, you can go eat a dick with that.
Do you have a guess what the name could be?
Kingdom Hearts, make my next game on a console.
Yeah, it's gonna be Kingdom Hearts dog shit because I don't understand why the fuck it's all over everything. And the big award that you're gonna get is they're physically gonna come to your house and draw you out a fucking timeline of what's happening, and they're not gonna leave until you understand it.
I'd get lost in translation. So guys, if you want to win something from Square Enix, which hopefully is more than just Kingdom Hearts or kind of a Disney prize, go check it out. You got a few days left. Hopefully by the time you watch this.
Yeah, if you got nothing better to do than waste your time, feel free to enter that.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. Win something. Hopefully.
God, I hate them so much.
And then you got one more?
Yeah. I don't even want to do I just want to end the show now because of that. The final one that I have actually is that Blizzard has announced that they've done a multi-year deal with the properties of Overwatch and Call of Duty for their online leagues. That it's only streaming on YouTube now.
Exclusively, yeah.
Exclusively on YouTube, which before I believe they had on like Twitch and other things like that. So I think it's kind of, I mean, that's a big gain for YouTube because those games draw like a shit ton of people to watch. And they have huge prize pools. I think usually the Call of Duty one's always like a couple million to the winning team. So, and that new Call of Duty is still absolute fire. I think it's absolutely great.
It's one of those things where I believe, if I'm not mistaken, YouTube tried getting into like the streaming space once before and it didn't pan out too well, and this is like in like Twitch's like infancy and Mixer and stuff like that, where now these guys are juggernauts in the thing and they're raking it. I mean, people that aren't gamers don't realize that gaming is so much bigger than any professional sport, probably the 3 biggest professional sports put together. I mean, there's something there that's being made and it's growing every day. So I don't think Google/YouTube is stupid. They know that at some point they need to be involved in it. So if you're going to lock up Overwatch and you're going to lock up Call of Duty, I can't think of too many other games that would be a better purchase. They're going to draw eyes exclusively to your platform. I mean, I don't say it as a bad move. I just don't want YouTube to fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like I want all these, anything that's gaming related and you can stream and your friends are on it or something like that. I want them to succeed, and I don't see how they would fail with locking in 2 of the biggest names in the game.
Nah,
pun intended.
I kind of wonder what that deal was, like what the cost of that is.
Yeah, and how's that being spread out between like, is it Sledgehammer still and Treyarch and which one's not doing a game anymore? Sledgehammer?
I think it was like Raven who's not.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, it's a multi-year deal. So that starts this year now in 2020. And
like February 8th, 9th, 10th or something like that, I think it starts.
Yeah, and I don't think they said when it ends. So who knows what multi-year is. You know, that could be till 2025 or something like that. So either way, 2 of the biggest games now that have a huge league that tons of people, every day, whatever.
So yeah, you want to watch Overwatch, you want to watch Call of Duty, go to YouTube.
Yeah,
you're on it 10 hours a day anyway.
I mean, good gain for them. I'm personally not like a big... I sometimes I'll watch stuff like that, but I'm not like sitting there live on Twitch waiting for it to air. That I don't know how that's going to affect other people. So if it leaves a sour, if you get a sour grapes from it, let me know why you're upset about it, because I would like to understand, maybe how, oh man, that sucks. I don't understand why you would want to use Twitch over YouTube for something like that. Anyways, but maybe they got a better ecosystem.
Yeah, possibly. So check it out if you're interested in it, guys. Overwatch, Call of Duty, big titles. Sure to be ton of gameplay when you're ready to watch it. So that is, I believe, the end of the riff.
Yeah.
So let's get into a quick, small review. Andrew and I have both been playing DBZ Kakarot. If you guys have been eyeballing it, if you're looking at it, we're going to talk about it briefly. Andrew, I'm a little further than you, so why don't you start with your initial thoughts of Kakarot?
I'm actually really enjoying it, but it is kind of wearing, and I can see some people's points of contention, especially if you're not a fan of the show. This game is specifically made for people who enjoy the show, but I am to the point where I'm like, fuck, dude, I just want to be done with this game already, because I've got other stuff to play to where it is a lot of fun, and the cutscenes are phenomenal.
Fantastic.
A lot of the cutscenes and the interactions between people, plus there's lots of callbacks to everything. There's so much fanfare in this game. I absolutely love that. It has it in spades, but I am to the point where I'm just button mashing and I'll do my one special move and keep warping around and then keep trying to get someone in a hole to where they can't move out. And one thing I have noticed that kind of throws me off every now and then, and you figure for how much this game is, they would have kind of worked on that, is there's lots of like spelling errors like in between it. So it's like I told you no, but it's like I told you not for some reason or something like that.
It's a bad translation.
And it doesn't even bug me either that the mouse are like, and then, the lip syncing is off, because I'm like, whatever. It's no different for me than really watching the show. It's just a little bit worse than that. I mean, I think it's a great game, but again, like I said, only if you are a fan of the show.
Yeah, definitely speaks volumes if you're a fan of the show, which we are. So the cutscenes are brilliant to watch. The gameplay is good. It's just excessive, and then it gets repetitive. So there's 3 main sagas. There's the Frieza saga, there's the Cell saga, and there's the Majin Buu saga.
We forgot about the Saiyan saga.
The Saiyan saga! I guess there's 4. Jesus. So, I mean, the game, I just feel like these sagas, if you aren't experienced with the show, what it's doing is it's telling you the show through a game, right? Which is awesome if you've never seen it. But if you have, it just, for me, there's nothing that changes about the fighting. It stays stale for me personally.
Yeah.
I can't speak for everybody. There's unlike like a traditional Dragon Ball Z fighting game.
I'll say it's still
with combos and stuff like that,
but it's not bad. At least it's not painstakingly bad.
It's not bad, and there is in-game stuff you can do that's fun. The side quests are fun. The Soul Emblem
I love the
thing
side quests.
It's one of the funnest things. I'm finding myself hunting these guys down because I want to build up my stuff. It's just take it with your own, as you will, because the game can be on the top end of like 120 hours if you're a completionist, and if you stick to the story or so, you can probably beat it between like 25 to 30. I would say that they did something unique, and I think it was a move in the right direction. I just feel like there's something missing, and I can't put my finger on it yet. Something in the fighting has to be changed in the next one they make to make it more not so repetitive in every fight. It just moves to the next fight, to the next fight, to the next fight, and it's just the same thing. B until I dodge, until I blast, and then it's dodge. And it's just...
And between each story section too, it's just like few and far between. Because I mean, this world, it's cool to fly around, but I'm not going anywhere that I only go where the objective is going to be. I don't find myself flying, oh, hey, what's over here or whatever, unless there's a side objective or something like that to get to.
Yeah, I would say my biggest gripes are that there's no costume change, at least one that I found. I don't like it's a Dragon Ball Z game. These guys go through different outfits. You can't change your character's look. I get, because they have the main story and then they have intermission, which happens between the sagas. You can go mess around and do whatever you need to do. There's no costume change. And the biggest thing is there is a goddamn loading screen every time you do anything. You can leave Goku's house and a fucking
I was just talking to Christian about
Jesus. And it's not short. It's not like it's 6 seconds. It's like
30.
15, 30.
Yeah.
You're sitting there like, that's when I check my phone. I'm like, did I miss any news? Okay, I can play again.
Okay, so that would be my biggest complaint too. And I was talking to Christian about this, and that's what I hate more than anything. Is I'll load into a world like, let's say Capsule Corp, because it's its own little thing. I talk to Bulma. I now have to fucking load out, go to a place, pick up something, load back to the fucking thing, and so it's like 2 minutes of fucking loading. Then I'm just sitting there waiting. I'm like, oh my god, that's so
on a game that's already long, cutscene, long loading screens do not make it any better.
Thank God that the loading is only when you're warping between places, because it's not during cutscenes. I never have an issue like that as long as I'm in one area and I'm doing shit in this area. That's what's cool. But when the story tells me to go to this area, fly across the map, talk to this guy, but now I got to go to fucking King Kai's place, so I got to warp back over to this fucking place, and it's oh my god, dude, it's unbearable.
So Andrew and I, if you watch this way back in the day on our show, we were starting something that was just buy, pass, wait, which we're kind of what we're gonna do again because we don't want to do a number system anymore. So Andrew, this game, if anyone hasn't played it, are you gonna tell them to buy on it, pass on it, or wait on it?
I think if you're a fan of the show, depending on where you stand, if you're a huge fan, I would say to buy it because it is worth it. I am having fun during the cutscenes. If you're kind of a minimalistic fan, then wait. If you don't really like Dragon Ball Z at all, I would probably say to pass.
Yeah, I would say wait, but wait until it's under $30. Like, I don't know if the game, it's a big game, but I don't know if there's $60 worth for me there. So I would say wait till it's, I wouldn't buy this game at full price. I would say 40 and under, wait. I think it's worth playing. Check it out. Unless you hate Dragon Ball Z, but I would say wait overall.
Yeah, like I said, it's for sure. If you're a absolute huge fan, then you're going to have fun. Because that's the thing, is even when the other shit's boring, I'm like, damn, I can't wait for the next cutscene. And then I'm just sitting there and it's almost like watching an episode. If I had to equate this game to something, if I had to compare it to something, I would, like, really thinking about it, I would really compare it to watching the show, because
drag on Ball Z.
But that's the thing, is if you've already seen the show once through, this game is like rewatching that show, versus if you've seen this show and you've seen Kai, you know the difference between the two. At this point, for some sections, I would gladly take Dragon Ball Z Kai, which trims a lot of the fat. This is not trimming that fat, but there's lots of cool shit, few and far, in there. But is a lot of it necessary? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many missions that don't seem to be mandatory that they make, and there's so many little things that, like, nothing happened, even though I had to go do loading screen after loading screen, no action, and I had to do 6 things, and then I'm finally able to move actually progressively in the story, and that's just where the game's good. It's just you're losing my attention with all this like nonsense that I have to do. So
yeah, I'll tell you the worst example, the best example I can think of is you do a quest for Bulma. She wants you to get something from the original Saiyan ship. So of course you're loading out of there. You gotta load into the other world. I fly across. I go grab this chip. Cool. I bring it back to her. I gotta unload out of her world. And then it says I still have a mission there. Load back into her world. Yeah. Talk to her again. And then she's like, oh, I think the scouter, because you got something from the scouter, because that's what she's setting up. Oh, there's evil presence or something. I don't know if this thing's broken. Go check it out. I literally load back and fly back to where I just picked up this fucking chip to fight 3 Cybermen.
Yeah, it's just...
to the exact same spot.
They try to sell it as like an open world, but it's really just like a collection of hubs that you kind of travel through, and that's where this load's kicking in. This isn't like a big world like GTA 5 or The Witcher, where you're moving from place to place. It's... I go to my map and I click my next place, and this place is this big, and then I click, so that I see where the draw is coming from in terms of, or why it's it's taking so long, but I don't know. So I would say wait on the game, pick it up. That's why I'm not mad, because we and Andrew split it, so it only cost me $30.
Yeah,
for me, it's a $30 game.
Yeah, so I'm still enjoying myself.
Yeah. So with the end of that, guys, that brings the episode to a close. So what we do want to remind you guys though is, starting from the last episode, and this will be entry number 2, is we are giving away a copy of Resident Evil 3. Now, keep in mind, Resident Evil 2 was the game of the year last year on most outlets. Resident Evil 3, we will be giving it away. Make sure that you guys leave in the comments, hashtag RE3.
And that will end on the 27th, so that's the week before it comes out, so we will let you know. We'll get you that copy ASAP, and you will have a total of 6 entries, including this one, to win that.
6 big games, you guys. So do not miss out, guys. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms. If you can't get to a YouTube, we do have podcasts on CastBox and iTunes. So, guys. Oh, one more?
Yeah, make sure you hit that notification button, like always, because, again, we could get lost in the kerfluffle, and free games are free games, so why not enter?
Yeah, definitely, guys. Free games are free games. So, until next time, my name is Craig Perales. That is Andrew Montemayor. Cheers. Take it off the list and then move.
Dude, I don't have time for anything.
I might squeeze in like Life is Strange 2.
Who's that one chick that looks like Anne Hathaway but older?
But older?
Yeah.
In what movie?
I would say she's. Oh, she's in 13 Going on 30.
Oh, not Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock. That was the first one that came in.
Jennifer Gardner.
Is it Gardner? Oh, yeah, it is Gardner, not Garnet. What am I saying? Garnet. Who's Garnet?
I don't know.
Oh, I think that they look
Will
alike.
Garnett?
I think they look alike.
Or is that Hilary Swank?
No, it's definitely not Hilary Swank.
Yeah, Jennifer Gardner. Married to Affleck still, I think.
I think that she looks kind of like an older Anne Hathaway.
Okay. Maybe like her older sister? Or does she have a mom vibe to her?
Maybe like when she's washed up. And
Jennifer Gardner is the chick from Elektra. That's who we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't watch Elektra. I forgot Daredevil? That was even a fucking movie. I was gonna say I do like Daredevil, and I remember liking Daredevil it, too, and I kind of want to watch it again to see if it really still holds up.
I think I did recently in the last 5 years, and I remember liking it. It was like I think it was in a hotel room and it was on or something. I was like, I got nothing better to do. Let's watch it.
I remember that I thought Kingpin was black for the longest time because I watched that movie. So that's
Clark Duncan's so good at it.
So that's another role that be a black or white, I really wouldn't fucking care. Yeah. And at first, too, I remember I was like, oh. He's white? I always thought it was black.
Then you watched that movie. Well, so you never watched like the Spider-Man cartoon growing up?
I did, but it never occurred to me that he was white in the cartoon. Oh, yeah, I just went back in my head retroactively and thought he's this big, huge black guy.
Well, dude, Clark Duncan does it good, man.
Dude, I like. Oh, the blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen.
The blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen.
They're coming. Not for me.
Yeah.
For you.
Dude, he's fantastic.
I hear this. I hear him from here.
Dude.
Go ahead. Tell him how you got beat by the blind lawyer.
Does he break his kneecaps?
Oh yeah, when he's sliding through, yeah, he does that laugh.
Oh, I love it, man. That was a good one. I don't know why people hate Daredevil.
I remember Colin Farrell being cool.
I love him as Bullseye. See you're good, Donald, but me, I'm magic. dude, drinking that beer, just fucking bullseye. I was like,
I just
sick.
remember him